eyes on Max. "It's our seagull," Max whispered. This was the mysterious bird that arrived whenever it was time for another adventure on Wind Rider. "Are you sure?" asked Sofia. "Yes," Max started chuckling. "It's got a splotch of ice cream on its beak. It's an even messier eater than I am." Sofia laughed too. Their seagull friend was a notorious ice cream thief. They'd first met the bird when it had stolen hers. As if in response, the gull bobbed its head. Then it flapped its wings and led them toward the mangrove forest. "Let's go!" cried Sofia, racing ahead. Max scooped up the kite and glanced back at the beach. How long would they be gone? He couldn't say for sure. But it didn't matter. No time would pass here in Starry Bay while they were away. No one would miss them. That was part of Wind Rider's magic. So he hurried after Sofia through the tangled hedge of roots and vines, puffing and panting to keep up with her. The smell of seawater gave way to the smell of damp earth. Tree limbs crisscrossed overhead, dappling the path below with shadows. The sailboat was so weathered and rotted that it seemed to melt into the ground. It rested sideways like a beached whale, half on land and half in the water. Max could just make out the words Wind Rider painted in white on the faded navy hull. Nobody who looked at it would have any idea that it was a magical boat. Sofia had already climbed on deck. She darted around the old mast and torn musty sail. Then she lifted the heavy hatch that led to the cabin below. After scurrying down the rusty metal ladder, she hurried through the narrow cabin until she reached a wooden shelf. "They're still here!" Sofia blew out a breath of relief. One half of a leathery turtle eggshell rested beside two red and blue macaw feathers, souvenirs of the endangered animals she and Max had helped on their past adventures. "Where will the boat take us next?" she wondered. "Who needs our help this time?" Up on deck, Max shivered. A brisk breeze had begun to blow, sending leaves swirling off branches. He heard the flutter of wings as the seagull swooped over his shoulder and landed on the deck beside him. "It's nearly time," Max realized. "We're about to set sail." He kept his hands to his mouth. "Sofia!" he called. Her smiling face appeared just as the wind began to pick up. She sprinted across the deck and crouched beside Max. They both touched the helm, which they knew set the magic in motion. As the wooden helm began to spin, faster and faster, Max squeezed his eyes shut. He had one hand on the rail, and the other gripped the kite. The kite tugged, threatening to break free, but just when he was sure he couldn't hang on any longer, the wind died down. Sofia sprang up and let go of the now gleaming wooden rail. She felt a shiver of excitement as she saw crisp white sails overhead and a freshly polished deck beneath her feet. The Wind Rider looked brand new, and it was sailing fast across a wide gray sea. "Where are we now?" Max asked, opening his eyes. To his relief, he found that he was still holding on to the kite. Together, they stared at the rocky coastline ahead. Beyond the jagged cliffs, they saw rolling green hills and purple mountains that disappeared into misty clouds. By the shore was a village, a cluster of stone buildings and red-roofed houses. It was chilly here. Max tied the kite to the rail and wrapped his arms around himself. Then Sofia spotted a flag flying from the cliffs above the harbor. She squinted until she could make it out. It was royal blue with a large white X across it. "Oh, I think I know." "Where?" asked Max, his heart racing. "Scotland." Sofia smiled widely. "I recognized the flag. My grandparents vacationed here. They told me it was a beautiful place with incredible wildlife. I've always wanted to come." Goosebumps of excitement sprang up along Max's arms. He rubbed them down and grinned. He watched a bird dive and gracefully skim over the water. In the distance, something caught Max's eye.